Dhaka.
Laga. Isn't it in some country? One of the many countries.
You're gonna have to be more specific.
Dhaka is a city in...
Patson Daka is a striker who plays for Leicester.
Yeah, it's still.
I think so.
Patson. That's a fucking sick name.
Patson, what was the sick name that we had?
Blessing Johnson.
Blessing Johnson.
Yeah, and then...
Your girl's out here blessing Johnson, bro.
Jesus. It's the capital of Bangladesh. I knew. I was going to say Sri Lanka, but it's not.
Yeah. Sylhet and Dhaka are the big cities in Bangladesh, I believe. They have beef amongst each other.
It was formerly spelled D-A-C-C-A, and now it's D-H-A-K-A.
AKA Grade, AKA Billy Grease, AKA...
So it's probably darker.
You're darker than me, you're not harder than me.
Yes. Should we just do this pod just be a whole segment on geography?
A geography pod.
Like a geography pod.
No, specifically on darker.
Yeah, and I'll just read out a fact.
What is your obsession with geography?
So I was always really shit at geography, to the point where I literally wouldn't know where anything was. And especially in the UK.
Where are my glasses, bruv? Where are my shoes?
But seriously, I wouldn't know, like, if you were like, where's Leicester? I literally wouldn't even know which direction in relation to London. If it was like north, south, I wouldn't know.
So you made a concerted effort to like...
So I started and I was like looking at all like the Midlands and then like other parts of the UK, not London. And then similarly, if it was like, where is Azerbaijan? I literally don't even know even roughly where it is. If you said Papua New Guinea, I probably would have pointed somewhere in Africa. It's actually like the other side of the world. I think it's important to know like where things are roughly, because what if like somebody comes up to you, gun to your head, point out Eritrea on a map? Like, what are you gonna do then?
Dead.
You're
but
right.
I would be calm in that scenario. I would survive, and you guys would be cooked.
Yeah,
so
I'd be dead.
Make sure if we are gun to head and we fuck it up, that you just get all of the beats off of Mayfly's laptop and you just get my vocals and we just
I wouldn't even be able to do it.
Posthumous albums, bro. Posthumous.
Oh, please don't say that. And I wouldn't even be able to do that.
Would
I
you
would have the beats, and then I'd be like,
just
fuck's sake.
conceptually, Mayfly? Heaven forbid, yeah. Let's say something happens to you.
Let's not even talk about it.
Would you be okay with us being like, let's like get some more songs out?
Oh, of course, yeah. Do your fucking thing.
You wouldn't. You don't give a shit. You're dead.
Of course, I'm dead, Bev. But
But-
also Phantom Legacy.
Yeah, exactly. Don't fuck it up, basically.
But no, that would bang. That would be really good marketing.
If I die.
I mean,
Should we do
okay.
it? Some guerrilla marketing.
Look on the bright side of things.
Right, Mayfly on the agenda this week.
You've
You're
got
dying.
you've got to die, but
You're
like,
gonna die.
should we do a fake death?
No.
Mayfly fake death, or should we just steer clear, very clear of any of that kind of death
Even
shit?
talking about it, let's just
stop. Stop talking about me being
dying,
dead.
yeah.
Me being dead.
We'll move on. It is sad though what some artists like post death legacy is just getting absolutely shagged by their estates.
Yeah,
Whereas
I
like some,
Who's done it well?
I think allegedly Mac Miller's done it well. I'm not a huge Mac fan. I've not really listened to a lot of his stuff, but from what I gather is that they've executed his like post-death stuff really, really well, like very like tastefully, and stuff is done well.
Best example, Biggie.
Yeah, what they fucked up.
I think so, a little bit.
Yeah, I think so too.
What?
I think there's just a bit too many like money grabbing moments essentially, and like remixes which didn't need to happen. I think just afterwards was great, but I think since then potentially there's been a lot of movies where it would have been rights to his name.
It makes sense though. If they're struggling for peas and they had this like figure in their lives who is like,
I'm not saying it doesn't make
massively,
sense. We're just
it's just, like,
talking
bad.
about the execution of it.
yeah.
The execution being the
If
the
could,
talking point
if you passed away and you could have your consciousness implanted into like an AI type, like in the cloud, would you want that, or would you be like, nah, once I'm gone, just like let me go? It's a very difficult question.
I don't know. I don't.
What as in? Am
Like,
I
at the moment,
still alive?
You're about to die, and somebody comes up to you and says, "Look, we can like take your consciousness and like upload it. You'll still exist. We don't really know what that's going to look like, but you will be conscious. You'll retain your consciousness. It just probably wouldn't be in your body anymore. It'll be somewhere else. Would you be like keen for that?"
Depends.
Half of me, from a religious and spiritual sense, is like, no, you're like playing God, and like this isn't right.
Yeah.
But the other part is like, surely our goal as humans has always been about survival and about maxing out life as much as we can. So it's
Preservation.
exactly. It
survival
seems
in
like
what
the
context?
natural order will continue that way, and eventually we will become like as close to immortal as possible.
You know that guy KB? You know the Italian guy who goes
Yeah,
oh,
yeah,
KB,
yeah.
KB
Lamy, or
Lamy,
whatever his
yeah,
name
yeah.
is. He
Didn't he
just-
sold his company 49 or like a majority stake for like $1 billion?
yeah, thanks.
or
That was
something?
my point.
Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. Is that what you were gonna say?
Well, he
Sorry.
sold, well, no, I was only kind of being facetious for comedic effect, but he sold his company for $900 million, but they have all the rights to be able to recreate him. So he sold AI rights, so now they can make any video and it's like he's there and it's completely okay.
I
So obviously the ethical downfalls of that could be like astronomical, basically.
I hate that so much.
What?
Like giving away your rights to allow AI to. Like,
To give a
replicate
blanket
you.
license is crazy as well, because it could be in the fine print that it ends up being used in some military scenario, or I don't know, like
or some, like,
intelligence, or I don't know, like.
Some OnlyFans type shit where like there's an
Well,
AI.
that's not where my mind went, but yeah, that's true as well.
Like they could easily just like have
They
the
just
video
get
of
him
you
just
getting,
like-
yeah, get look at, look at my peas.
But I mean, they can deep fake stuff like that now, but this is just with his permission, basically.
Yeah, that's
Like
not-
anyone
and-
can be deep faked now.
and
no
they
problem.
will, I assume, it would mean that he goes into like some chamber where they like map his whole body and like take pictures of everything. So
I don't even think there's a need. I think with the amount of content that he's put out,
Yeah,
they
they can-
probably have
I
enough.
guarantee
They just-
you
they
that
just
they
trade-
will do that.
Yeah, probably, but they
they'll
won't
put
need-
him like he's like a, you know, those dancers for GTA, and they put all the dots.
you know,
all over
but
them.
you don't need to do that as much anymore because of the way that essentially off of a 2D image or a very limited
Listen,
view.
I know, guys, but if they're paying £900 million, I think
But
they're
it's-
going to map his face.
Yeah, probably, but it's primarily just for the reach that he has. Essentially, what they've bought is a holding company, which is all of his socials and everything, all of the money generated goes through this like company. They're just buying, obviously, rights to him, which is fucked up, but then access to his audience, which is unbelievably massive. And the reason it's so lucrative is because all of his content doesn't have any words, so it can
Universal.
it's
yeah.
exactly, it's universal. Like you don't need to have an English speaking person to understand it. He just goes like this,
Yeah.
and everybody understands what he's talking about. Have you seen the new thing Instagram is doing with the AI dubbing?
No,
So it's like
someone
aut-
mentioned this the other day.
It's
though.
auto dubbing. So like I was scrolling through Reels yesterday and I saw this video and the captions were in like Portuguese, but the voice was English and the guy's mouth was moving and it was English. And I was like, what the fuck? And I go into his profile and it's like, yeah, auto dubbed or something. And essentially they just have AI which will just
So not
dub
really-
you.
That's fucking.
It just automatically in different languages move your lips, take your voice, change it to like English, Spanish, whatever,
that's
and
crazy.
then it just means that your content can now have the broadest reach. And it's actually something Mr. Beast was
Yeah.
doing years ago. He was translating all of his content, and now this is a thing that all of these platforms are doing. It's mental, and I think off of the back of that, RM had a pretty interesting question. How do you feel about AI as a creative or productivity tool in music and marketing? Does AI have a place in the Phantom universe?
So AI, I think, broad picture, AI will only have, will have both positive and negative impacts on a lot of things within music, within creativity in general. There's always going to be like some good stuff and some shit stuff. I think for us, from the pure creative perspective of production and songwriting, there will never be any AI involvement in that. You know, I've never needed AI to help me write a bar. I'm never gonna ask AI to like help me write a track.
What do you think of this? What do you think of this bar?
Yeah, exactly. Like, help me rhyme this with this. Like, if I need to think of rhyming words, I'll use something that will, like, I'll look in a thesaurus or I'll pull something offline, like, that's gonna help me with that. But I'm never gonna use AI to write. I'm sure you feel the same about your production. I don't think you're ever gonna use it as a production tool, but there are some things that are of benefit. Like, for example, the stem splitting, which is an AI kind of, essentially it's some sort of AI that's useful to help with the process. So creatively, I think it's not that useful for us, but to facilitate the process.
Exactly.
I think there's lots of stuff that it can be used for. And I think when we were like visualizing stuff like from the like the artwork side and just how does Phantom look rather than how it sounds, we were using AI to like help with image generation for mood boarding and things like that. Like stuff like that I think is good, but then to take that and to give that to a human and say, okay, look, can you put your spin on it now is probably the way to do it. So to use it, but not to rely on it, and to still have that, to retain that human creative element, which is key.
I echo everything you're saying there. I think AI in any industry, pretty much every industry, should be used to make the process easier and quicker rather than to do the process instead of you. Does that make sense? Especially creatively.
100%.
You know, an artist, for example, like I've met a filmmaker who does he does adverts, and we were talking about AI, and he was like, listen, everyone around me is complaining about AI, not me. I've used it and now I'm the best in my industry. Like, he really is like number one because he's made his workflow so much quicker and better. Everyone knows he's used AI, but he's used it in a way which is creative. He's used it to generate really cool things, which like, and it's not cheating. He's had an idea, he's put in the prompt, he's done the thing. The same way you say stem splitting, that is just, people talk about, there was this New Haven record, you know, hold me closer, that I'm a mess, and that was AI written. People were saying, where do we draw the line? Auto-tune is AI. Like, where do you draw the line then? Like, if we're allowed to, auto-tune's totally okay and you're allowed to melodize someone's vocal and make it absolutely perfect. But then but with this song, what they did is they ran a male vocal through a Georgia Smith trained AI model. Where's the line? Where do you draw the line there then? If you're manipulating a vocal anyway to make it sound better, I don't really see where. Well, I kind of can, which is weird, but it's just interesting to see that there is a tipping point almost.
I guess the equivalent, which would kind of bring it closer to home, would be somebody trains an AI model on all of the Phantom sound and then just generates a song which is like Mayfly type beat with Grey type vocals, sounding like you, sounding close to an average Phantom song, because that's what it would do. It would flatten all of your songs into the mean and then try replicate something that echoes all of the sonics and the vocals. How would you feel about somebody doing that and coming out with their own track, and you listen to it and you're like, kind of sounds like us?
It'd be interesting, but that's wrong.
You'd be against somebody like
course, yeah.
copying, but that's essentially what these people are doing, and where the music scene is going. I saw I think it was Sweden, like most of the songs on the top 20 were all AI gen, like fully AI, end to end. The artist doesn't exist. The song wasn't written by a human. It wasn't performed by a human. It was just a human going, generate this, put it together, and then put it out.
Well, I mean, if that's what people enjoy and that's what people want to consume, like, cool, fair enough. That's what the masses want, and if that's what the masses want, then like let them enjoy themselves. I think we are getting to a point where people are enjoying the human element more. That we're like going back to a bit more of an analog style because there's all this stuff going on. So I think there'll be a bit of a split in terms of like the population and what they appreciate. A lot of people will just accept it and think, yeah, this is cool, it's just another type of music. I like some of it, I don't like some of it, whatever. Some of the stuff I think is quite cool, like the AI covers where they change the song into like a different genre.
Oh, like the 50 Cent one.
Yeah,
Bang.
like I thought.
Did you see the Eminem one where it was Toothbrush remix?
No.
Lose Yourself, but they've remapped it for a toothbrush, so it's just like.
That's insane.
That's fucking mental.
But yeah, like I think those kind of things are cool. But when it comes to like, people still will go to a show and see somebody perform live because they want to know that this is like a human and they want to feel the human emotion of it rather than listen to the track. people still want to buy a vinyl even though they can stream it because they want something physical and real. And I think that's just going to be the way it goes in the future as well. I just think it will naturally split. Some people will consume AI, some people won't.
Yeah.
People will do a bit of both. It doesn't really bother me so much if somebody AIs our music and releases a song in our style. I will take that as a compliment. I'll be like, imitation is the greatest form of flattery, and like, cool, that's sick. I doubt it's gonna be better than what we make. Like, how could it be?
But by its very definition, it would be the most average intersection of all Phantom songs. That's how it works. Is like the way.
It wouldn't sound right. It wouldn't be a fresh song. It would sound like all
Exactly.
of our songs cobbled together.
Exactly, and I don't know the ins and outs of AI. It's embarrassing because I like worked in the space, but essentially, it's the way it generates something is it predicts the most likely next token. So like when it's giving you the answer, it's literally predicting the most likely next character, and so when it with like music, for example, it will flatten everything to the mean.
The mean, yeah.
Everything goes
And then
to
explain
the
it
same
out,
point. And so everything starts sounding the same. In the context of replicating your music, what would stop you guys eventually from having a Phantom AI model that you can just put something into and it'll spit out a tune that's like 70% done?
It just defeats the whole point of all of it for me. That's just, there's no, like, I don't want anything to do with it, you know? We make the music because we feel a way and because we think our fans want to feel that way as well, or latch on to that. If you automate it all, you're taking away all that emotion, you're taking away all that personal relationship stuff. Like, it doesn't make sense.
Just to play devil's advocate on that point though, there were probably artists from maybe like, let's say 25, 30 years ago where the digitization of music was just beginning, and they were talking about how, oh, you know, if you quantize your drums, it lacks a little bit of like you're losing that humanness. Like, don't do it, play it yourself. Actually, let's not use a MIDI. Let's live record everything because it's gonna have more authenticity to it.
We won't auto-tune it. We can't auto-tune it. We need a good singer.
Yeah, but that has changed over time and it's become more accepted. And I'm not necessarily disagreeing with you. Like, I agree, I wouldn't want to be using AI, but I think it's hard to predict where things will go in like 10 years. Maybe it's just the way that music is now made. Like how we make music now, it's all done through your laptop. That's just different to what it was 30 years ago. It's not necessarily right or wrong, but it's just how it's done. And maybe in 10 years' time, the way that music is made is AI does a lot of it, and then humans come in and do a little bit of it and make it, like, humanize it. I have no idea. I don't have a personal issue either way. If it's good, it's good. I kind of don't really care, but I've just never really heard an AI song and been like, this is good. Like, this like scratches an itch for me on a creative level. But maybe that time will come.
I guess it's kind of like the equivalent to a like auditory uncanny valley. Like,
Yeah, I guess so.
when you see a film from like the last 10 years and they've like used AI or CG to replicate somebody's face, you can
just know.
see, because it's like in our evolution, it's in our like the way that our brains are wired. You see that there's something not quite right with their face, or the way that they're moving, the way that the skin folds around their mouth is often a massive one. Around the eyes especially is like very hard to nail.
And hands.
Exactly, but now it's getting to a point where in the video gen stuff, you're like, oh, I can't really tell that this is AI. I can't really discern if this is somebody's generated this themselves or it's an AI has completely done it. In the same way, it will get to a point where there'll be music that you'll hear and how will you be able to tell that it's AI or not?
I think there should, so two things. I think there should be, this is what I was going to say as well. I think there should be a rule where it has to have like the explicit E should have brackets AI in the name. But the other thing I was going to say is what is right and what we think is good and what the public will like actually doesn't matter, because ultimately the reason that I think that it will keep going and why you said, and I didn't know this, but Sweden is leading the way in AI.
It's like Sweden. There was one in Ukraine as well. Like in the top 20, it's like loads of them are AI tunes now.
Sweden's Spotify is Swedish, and I wonder if that is a big part of it. Because this is the best way of putting it. If you cut out the musicians, there's money. There's a bigger piece of the pie for Spotify. So it doesn't actually matter what just like how the world is right, just how the world is run. It doesn't matter what is the right thing or what is going to be the best result or what's going to sound the best. I guarantee you, these shareholders or people who have shares in Spotify who aren't music heads, which is mostly the case with these conglomerates. You've got business people who might be from a tech space who've bought a music company, and you've got businessmen, you've got people who've never worked in music making these decisions. They can look at a balance sheet and go, this one where we don't have to pay out all these 8 different writers, we don't have to pay the record label, we don't have to also then work out the mechanicals for the publishing. We can just, even though it's slightly less quality, we can just 100% was all written by this guy looking after this AI bot.
Yeah.
Like it's just
our
simpler.
AI bot. It's our bot. We've generated all this
And
music
that's
now.
the next step.
Yeah.
It just becomes self-sufficient. Spotify has acquired Who Sampled as well. And they obviously have access to their whole library. Yeah. So if you think about it, they can train an AI model in the best way possible. The same way ChatGPT just uses the internet. If you look at Spotify could create their own hit machine, which is basically using all of their catalog.
Yeah, and just to kind of follow on from that, where ultimately the finance of it will dictate the way that things go. That's why we had this massive resurgence of like nostalgia hits where people were like sampling old tracks, because essentially whoever owned the masters of these old songs also were, had percentage stakes in these newer artists and was like, you know what, I'm going to eat twice off of this because my master from before is getting sampled and my new guy's making the track. So once the music industry has its like own AI bots, they are going to be incentivized to just push that music because it's better for them. So yeah, I think we are coming into a bit of a strange time, but I also think that ultimately there is going to be this like pocket of or let's say quote unquote authentic music listeners who will just shy away from that, and we will probably start seeing more like focus on live music and real human performance, and that's just going to be what takes off. And maybe actually to be successful in 5 or 10 years, it's not about being able to produce a really good record that people stream, but to just have a sick live performance. And that's where people are going to be like, fuck, like it's like £1,000 to go see somebody live because everything is online. And that's the niche, and that's where the demand goes. You don't really know the direction that things are going to go. RM's question was also talking about marketing, and I think actually for us there's quite a lot of AI tools that we are using as part of the marketing thing, just to make life a little bit easier for us. Like a lot of the clipping initially has some AI elements to help us out. There's like lyric videos and content where we're not having to edit the videos. That's being done by AI, and that's useful for us. Like those things are helpful. But again, we're driving. Yeah, exactly. We're driving the creative process, just using that as a tool in the same way that we use Ableton as a tool, or we use this as a tool. I think as long as there's a human directive behind it, it's fine.
It's very interesting what you said before as well. It's like when it all got digitalized and people start being like, well, you can't quantize your drums. It's the same with Ableton or whatever, It's like everything used to be recorded on literal tapes.
Yeah, it's mental.
The bass line for fucking Billie Jean was written, he played that for 3.5 minutes, that same thing.
That's mad.
He couldn't loop it.
Yeah.
So there's all discrepancies throughout it, and he had to get it right.
Yeah. I think for me, I always just default back to this idea that the more we allow AI to bleed into industries, and especially now like creative industries, where the whole point of it is not necessarily the art at the end of it, but the process. And it's like we've spoken about 100 times before, the process and emotions that you're working through and an experience that you go through that you then want to translate into some form of other medium, and that helps you rationalize things in your head. Once we start allowing it to bleed into those spaces, everything becomes irrelevant. Everything becomes lacking soul. Like nothing matters. Like you're consuming a piece of art and you're like, well, this is meant to evoke something in me, but you can't feel any of that through the process. Like, oh, look at the brushstrokes. Yeah, but it's like, this is like not real brushstrokes. Like there was no human who actually sat there. Like Van Gogh, when you hear about like he murked his ear off and painted this thing, you're like, yeah, this guy was a fucking mentalist. But look at the arts. Like this came about as a result of this. When in like 10 years, what the award shows are all going to be like, and this prompt engineer just won best track, and it's like, how can this computer scientist win like this creative award, which is in the art space? It's all fucked.
There's going to be laws which come in. It's going to be that simple. It's going to be, you need a certain amount. There needs to be a certain amount of human intervention.
Mm-hmm.
That's the only way it's going to be prevented.
Well,
do they want to
this is the thing.
Do they want to prevent
There's
it?
enough people, there's enough songwriters, managers, artists who have enough of a voice and a shareholding in those companies to be able to sway for it to be like that. The same way that in France, you have to, 80% of the music on the radio has to be French music.
Really?
They did that on purpose to preserve French music. It's why French is one of the biggest rap exports, which
true.
isn't English.
That's sick.
It's because it's all self-done. It's all like, it's encouraging people can pop off in France if you write your own music. It's not all American imports, you know?
Yeah, facts.
So,
I didn't know that.
So laws like that can be introduced. You could look at that as them like limiting themselves, but ultimately it's leading to the betterment of French music.
Yeah.
It might mean that they have less quality music or less American music, which is popular, but the ultimate goal is positive.
Yeah, preserving the French music that is being created and not just letting it be drowned out by AI slop.
Yeah.
Thing is, like, I agree with that in terms of like the creative industry and how we should aim to preserve the human element to it, because there's clear benefits and there's clear negatives with the AI. But then outside of that industry, every other industry is using AI to quote unquote become better. So like, for example, in like healthcare, if I told you that an AI can look at an X-ray way better than a human can, over time you're going to want to use the AI because it's better for outcomes. Or like, we can do a
VAR.
right, we can do a surgery using a robot. It's quicker, it's more efficient, there's less downsides than a human. Initially there's going to be pushback, but after a while you'll be like, actually it doesn't make sense. We should be using
But
the
in those
machines.
cases, in like those two examples specifically, the outcome of what you're looking for, you want something in that case that is more efficient. You want something that is more accurate. There are these quantitative metrics that you want to improve. I want it to be delivered to me faster, cheaper, in a more efficient manner. Whereas that's fine because it's like in the science space, it's in like STEM. It makes sense. We want to do this research faster to get an outcome.
It's more black and white
But,
and quantifiable.
yeah,
There
But
are
with-
metrics
But with like
music.
like film or music or art, there's nobody's working towards this quantitative. This piece of art is good on these metrics. It's all abstract. It's all subjective. And I think that's where it becomes a much more like grey area. I'm all for it to make things more efficient in typical day-to-day work for people. But in the creative space, how can you why would we make art more efficient? Why would we make it easier or faster to generate? The purpose of it is not to make it more efficient, it's to have it still pass that emotion through, which is the whole point of it. Like, I'm all for having them doing surgery on a grape with a robot. But like, I don't want them to...
There was someone who tweeted and said, I want a robot to do my laundry and my cooking and cleaning so that I can make my art, not the other way around.
Exactly. Like, that's the whole thing. Like, why would you hire some like AI bot to make
the
the
fun
music,
bit.
to do the music for you?
Why are you doing
so
the
that
fun
you can
bit?
clean shit?
Yeah.
Like, this is the whole thing. I think it's Rutger Bregman, Utopia for Realists. It's like, as time progresses and we get more and more tech advancements, it should free up the humans to do more creative shit. not the other way around, which is actually what's going to be happening, where all AI is going to be put into every industry, and it's like, look at how efficient and fast we can make this, and then it's going to leave the humans to do the shittier, like the more tedious jobs, like not even the knowledge work. Knowledge work is going to be completely automated. It's going to be things below that, like that's hard, like doing dishes, like obviously chucking the dishwasher, but then it's like, hey, moving the dishes from one place to another. We're going to have humanoid robots to do that. And then it's like, right, what do humans do then? Like literally nothing. What is the purpose of a human?
That's the singularity, bro.
Yeah, but it's like art is going to be all generated.
That's when we've got Arnie coming for us, bro.
Yeah, but on a real note, that is like, obviously we're not going to
I'm laughing and have a smile on my face. It's kind of gonna happen.
Like that's the point. I'm happy, and this is obviously being in like the startup space for a while. It's all about efficiency and using AI to disrupt legacy industries that are slow moving, all these massive incumbents that are just like unable to get with the times. But I don't think, why does everything need to get more efficient? Why does everything need to get faster? Like,
because it's capitalism at the end of the day.
Yeah, but I don't need my fucking delivery to come in the next 2 hours. Like, it can come tomorrow. Like that kind of mentality is like everything needs to be happening faster and quicker. And
the reason for that is not because it's not like everyone joined up in a meeting and was like, we need to make everything faster. It's that everyone sees opportunity, and it's like, if you can do the same as someone else, they've got this product, but you do it 5 times faster, then you're the USP.
Yeah, the speed
That's
is the USP.
That's why it keeps going like this.
Yeah.
You know, it's just because people find opportunity and want to exploit it. People want to make the next AI, which they can then sell.
Yeah, but that like exploiting it is just because everything is given to us so easily, so readily. It's like from a greed perspective, like 20 years ago, if you ordered something online, it's like, what the fuck? You're ordering something, it's being delivered to you, it's coming from this other place, and it's going to take 2 weeks. And you're like, oh, right, I can't wait for that to get here in 2 weeks. But now you're on Amazon talking about, if it's not Prime, I'm not buying it. It's because it's not going to be here in the next 24 hours.
The laundry basket I ordered last night after I went to bed is here at 6 o'clock today.
Oh, yeah, but that's fucked up. And I think it's like a broader point about, I think there will be this big bifurcation of people who really lean heavy into the AI, which is all going to be these tech bros who I've been surrounded by, who are like, they're letting AI do everything. And they're like, if your app can't be AI generated, and it's like, you can edit your app so that every user has their own unique experience because they are, like, the app is generated specifically for you. If it's not that, I don't want it. And then you have people who are like, I don't need another AI tool to help manage my calendar. Like, I can do that. Like, that is what it is to be human, is to like struggle through these things. Once you take away all of these struggles, we're just gonna be sat doing fuck all. It's gonna be like Wall-E, bro. We're just gonna be floating around in these chairs, getting fat, doing nothing. Like that to me is where it's like really fucked. And I think we should actually be pulling AI back a little bit.
Yeah, but as I say, unfortunately, the reason that's never going to happen is because it's all about the individual's progress. No one looks at it as a collective effort. Yeah. Everyone goes, right, yeah, you, that is peak. But we're trying to do our thing.
Yeah.
You know, we're adding to it.
Yeah,
I
suppose that's true.
Or maybe not us directly, but someone in that space. If you were still working in tech and you voiced these concerns,
they'd be like, fuck you then. Somebody else is going to do it better than you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But if you want to get ahead, you're still going to have to do it. Even all these individuals might think it's fucked up, but unfortunately, because it's all about personal growth, it means that they're going to keep...
But also, all of these models, all of these AI companies are being subsidized by governments. Like, they're not making any bread. They're burning a ridiculous amount of money to essentially achieve AGI. Like, that's the whole goal, is they literally are burning billions and billions every year on GPUs, on training data, on all of this stuff to get to the next model. And then that's it. It's just all of this bread is being pumped in so that eventually we can have this AI which can just do everything. And then what the fuck does that mean for everybody else? Just say, all right, you do fuck all now. Don't go to work. Don't even do anything creative. Just sit there and, like, what is the purpose then for humans? Like, we just cease to exist because everything can just run on autopilot.
Yeah, who knows, bro? It's a scary thought. I mean, just to bring it back to the music,
Yeah, sorry, I went on a massive tangent there, getting very heated about AI.
No,
Sorry.
no, but I'm with you, and it is interesting. But like to come back to the music, there probably will come a point where it's like, okay, people just want to have a human song. Like people
Yeah.
will just want to have that. So those artists who just continue to be themselves and to create just for the love of the game rather than to do anything, I'm sure will still be successful in the future. We said this earlier, but people still buy vinyls. People still go to live shows because that's what they connect with. I just don't see that changing. I don't really see that being stripped away from humans.
It's a generational thing. It's a generational thing for sure. People in our gen and like a little bit younger would still be like, yeah, I want to go and do this physical event. I want to go to this place and interact with these people and go outside and be in the real world. But once you get, I'm 16 and under, 18 and under maybe, why would I go out? I can go to a concert on Fortnite. Like, why would I leave? I have everything I need right here. I don't need to go outside. I don't want to go outside and like, obviously now we can get a bit more political. I don't want to go outside and like maybe get stabbed or maybe, there's so much bad stuff going on in the world outside. If I just stay indoors, I have everything I need. I can deliver all of my food. I can have all my clothes washed for me. I don't need to go anywhere, and I can go to all of these concerts, have all these experiences. Like where we would go outside and just sort of bops it down the street, knock on your boy's door and go kick ball in the park. These man will never do that. They'll send a snap in the group chat talking about jump on Fortnite or let's get on Roblox. And that's it. That's all these man will do for the, like, why would they leave their house to go to a concert when there's a concert in Roblox?
Because doing that is different and cool. Do
But
you know
it's
what I mean?
not cool. That's the whole point. Is
No,
it's
but it
not
will,
cool to
because
not right now.
cycles, everything
You're
goes in
talking about the
cycles,
future,
right?
Exactly.
Everything goes in cycles, and I think it will come a point where now, like AI and online stuff is like in vogue. It's like cool, and it probably will be cool for like maybe 5-10 years. I don't know, whatever arbitrary numbers, but there'll probably come a point where people are like saturated with it, and even now we're a bit like, fuck, man. I look on Instagram and I don't know what's real or fake. Like I'm not gonna use it as much because it's bullshit. Like I can feel it's not authentic.
But that,
But you think that's because of what age we're at?
I think we will be like, oh, this is weird because it's inauthentic. But imagine kids growing up where
That's all they've known.
they're friends with their ChatGPT.
Yeah,
like they
true,
are
same.
boys with their like.
I've seen the little
I have a
Chinese
question,
girl crying.
and she's like talking to like, oh, I need some help with my problem, and they will use it as if it's a real person that they are having an interaction with. And imagine now, you don't have any real friends. You're homeschooled. Everything's online. You're talking to your AI agent who just follows you around everywhere and says, no, it's fine. Like, you don't need to worry about this. Like, everything's going to be cool. You can just stay at home. We'll order you some food. We'll play some games. We'll do some learning, and that's it. Like, you don't need, obviously humans are flawed. I'm an AI. I have no flaws. Everything is in your best intention. If you've grown up with that in the same way that we grew up with like Google, and it's like you have a problem, go on Google, like ask it a question. You'll find, at least with that, it was articles that humans have written. But with AI, it's like flattens everything into one point. You don't really need to do any cognitive thought. Even at school, when we were like, oh, you have a test and you go homework or whatever, you would Google the question and then maybe somebody has written their own answer, but you try to cobble together all of these different pieces of information, use your brain to summarize it into one point. But now they're literally just, the human is the conduit between two AI models.
Yeah.
It's like, I got the information from here, give it to this model.
Switch to Gibber Talk or whatever?
Yeah, bro, let's use Gibberlink.
And
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
When
And
two
they're
AI
all like,
models, they're just like, it's like, hey, how's it going? How can I help you today? And it's like, hey, I'm doing well. How are you? I'm doing great. Just let me know if you need anything. Are you an AI agent? Yeah, I am. Should we switch to Gibberlink?
And then
Sure. Biggles, raggles, wriggles, raggles. And you're like, oh my God, bro. These guys.
So weird.
Also, I don't like how, I don't know if this is going to bite me in the future, but I don't like how people are like, oh, I was just talking to him the other day. It's like, what do you mean him, bro?
Chad.
Chad. You were talking to your boy Chad online.
Mr. Gupta.
Mr. Gupta. It's like, are you crazy? What do you mean you're talking to him? And it's like, oh no, but he told me I shouldn't do that. Are you fucking crazy? What do you mean he told you not to do that? It's your computer, bro. Just shut the laptop, walk away. But when it's like implanted, now you've got Neuralink, like it's going to be so blurred that kids, I bet you it's a generational thing where it's like, would you get Neuralink implanted in your body, yes or no? everybody under 18 is gonna be like, fuck yeah, are you crazy? Like, why wouldn't I? Or all you old heads are still using your phones. Bro, my phone is in my head. That's what they'll do. And then it's like, right, well, that's the divide between us, because I don't want any shit implanted in my goddamn head. But these will do it immediately, just because it means that they can get like a Roblox directly in their skull.
But how sick would it be though if I could have a chip implanted into like my throat and it made me a perfect singer? Like that to me as like a concept is like,
But then,
oh, that's kind of pretty.
not
no.
what it
Let
is.
me tell you why that's wank. Because everybody has it then. As soon as that
Yeah,
becomes
yeah, yeah.
commoditized, the idea of being a perfect
Levels-
singer is
levels
nothing.
the playing field.
Like if everybody is on,
Right, but then it comes back to the creative. So who's gonna? So cool, we can all do the thing the same,
Yeah.
but who has the best ideas? Who can come up with the best melody? Like, cool, I came up with the melody. We can all sing it perfectly, but I came up
Put
with
it
it.
into AI.
Yeah, and let them generate it. So I think there will come a point where it's like, okay, cool, it levels the playing field. It kind of makes things a bit more accessible. Like how now anybody can make a song. If you have a laptop with whatever allegedly cracked version of Ableton, you can start producing. Beforehand, only the people who could get studio access could make music. So technology makes things more accessible to people. On the face of it, that's a good thing. If we can get an AI or a tech that makes something more accessible to more people, I think there's value there. The scary thing is it going to take over our brains?
But
Like
I think
that's the worry.
to your point there, the tech was used by humans to enable them to do things more efficiently. But now we're getting to a point where there's no human being involved in the process. There's no human that is doing one thing or the other. It's just like, I have an AI agent who's tasked with making music. Off you go. And that's it. That was the full extent of the human interaction. Whereas with like Ableton as a tool, it's like, cool, here's a tool, off you pop, make the best song. Then it's like, now it's just who's the best prompt engineer, who can manipulate this AI to output the nicest sounding thing. And I guess people might look at it and be like, oh, you guys are like going to be left behind because that's the new skill. In the same way that when I was at uni, it's like, if you can do computer science, if you can code really well, that's like a really valuable skill.
And now it's
it's
meaningless.
like, fuck that. It's who can prompt this AI to code the best, who can prompt this AI to write the best.
Yeah, well,
Fuck
I mean-
all of that,
Well,
bro.
okay, what about this as a concept? Right now, Mayfly, when he produces, he'll pull samples, right, from previous songs, and he'll use those samples to make his music and make his beats.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. He'll manipulate the sample in a certain way, you know, speed it up, chop it up, whatever, put some effects through. If, instead of doing that, it was like, okay, I'm going to prompt an AI to create a sound, and then I'm going to just use that as a sample instead. It's not that different. Like, it's still conceptually the exact same thing, except instead of using a previous song, we're using something that's been generated and then putting the human touch on it. Like you said, if you rely completely on it and it's devoid of human creativity, that's bad. But I think there'd be loads of scope to just use it as like something cool and a bit different. It genuinely would be no different from sampling a track.
I personally, this is just a personal thing, I would feel like I was cheating myself. I wouldn't want to do it. I don't even use...
But you don't feel like that when you sample.
But
you didn't
the
make that.
But the reason, but another human did, and that human can get credit for the work, because you'll recognize them. They'll be on the credits. Look at this sick thing that they did. I'm building on the work of somebody before me and making something new out of it. I'm not just like, I don't know. There's this idea.
There's an art to sampling. It has its own credibility. It has its own thing. Like there's so much like amazing. Like I love going on Who Sampled. Or I love people who've done amazing samples, because most of my samples, for example, are you can barely even tell where they were from. Whereas with an AI, what I like doing is listening to 10 songs, the entirety of 10 songs, and then finding that little bit of gold where I go, oh, that sounds great.
I can do something with that.
Whereas if I bring the AI into it, I can just go and type in exactly what it is I want, and then it won't have the same. There's a level of like production value that taking a sample has,